Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again, yet for another video. How's everybody doing? I know it is really depressing right now here because I'm telling you, it's like flood central. It's like rain every day. I looked at the forecast for the next week. It's like it's just going to keep raining and raining and raining. I don't see no sunshine nowhere. It's Friday. It's messing up my weekend plans. Can't do nothing. I'm trying to dry off in my work truck because I've been out here in this rain and walking around. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of it. It's really depressing. But hey, what's not depressing is waiting on football, because we already know football is why we're here. Football is, I feel like football heals a lot of wounds, but what doesn't heal these wounds is defeat, sadness of losing, and being a mediocre team for 23 years not going to the Super Bowl. That's what we got with our Dallas Cowboys. Now, what are the reasons for us being a mediocre team? Now, listen, when I say mediocre, I'm saying an aspect of our record, not just the record, but the fact that we haven't gone to the big game in 23 years. You look at the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, finally getting their first one, and look, they have every reason to be happy, but we got to hear that all. We already know when it happened. We were going to hear this all off season. But our Cowboys got to get back to that game. And it sucks because I know I speak for every fan, every real Cowboy fan when I say this. We all want our team to win the Super Bowl. We know that our team is capable of winning the Super Bowl. But why is it that we can't get to that game? Hell, we can't even make it back to the NFC championship game. When the last time we hit that? Now, whether you like it or not, whether you like Jerry Jones or not, he is the owner and the GM of this team, which Will McClay should be the GM, but whatever have you, that's just the way it's run. We're fans of a team that's family run, family operated. It's like a small mom and pop company that, okay, it's a big corporation that runs like a mom and pop company, which is crazy. I mean, it's good and it's bad, because if you work for the team, a lot of people that work for the team say that they like it because they can actually interact with the ownership, and Jerry walks around. Look, I'm a fan of Jerry because of what he does for other people and helping other people, but what I don't agree with is over the years, and this has been the narrative since he's been the owner of this team in '89, he has always been in control of too much. Now, it seems like he's given more reign to his son, Stephen Jones, but with that is a problem. And the problem is we can't have a coach in here that has his own mind. Hear me out when I say this. What I mean by having a coach with his own mind, most coaches, hard-nosed coaches, you look at somebody like John Gruden, perfect example. This guy is no nonsense. He comes in, he implements what he wants to implement, and it's his team, his locker room, and he doesn't want ownership or anybody interfering with what he's doing with his players, period. Jason Garrett is not that guy. Jason Garrett is a yes man. Jason Garrett is gonna want to do, yes, he might have his own opinions in his own mind, but at the end of the day, he's a clapper, and he's going to continue doing what Jerry Jones wanted to do. He is Jerry Jones' pet cat. Jason Garrett was a player on this team as a backup quarterback for Troy Aikman, and he has been the offensive coordinator for this team and now the head coach for 7 years. I don't know, name me any other coach in the league right now that's been with a team this long that hasn't at least made it to their division's conference playoff round or the Super Bowl. Because look, it takes 4 to 5 years as a coach to implement your playbook, your scheme, everything that you're trying to do. But the problem is, if it doesn't maturate, or if it doesn't show signs of getting to that point, you got to go. Most teams change over all the time. It happens in the NFL. Bill Belichick has a job solely because of Tom Brady and because they win every year. And Bill Belichick is a great-minded coach, don't get me wrong. But whatever the formula that they're working with up there, they're winning. They're doing what they need to do, period. All day, every day. We're not the Patriots. We don't function like the Patriots. We got to stop with the mindset of trying to be like the Patriots, because we can't be the Patriots because we don't have the coaches or the ownership to be the Patriots. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really have anything against Jerry Jones. I just feel like for many years he has hindered his team from being great by having his fingers too much in the pot. I understand that Jerry Jones loves football. I understand that he likes to be an aspect. There's nothing really wrong with that. But you have to understand that you have to let your coaches be your coaches. You have to play. It's almost like a police department, right? The chief of police doesn't interfere with what the officers are doing their job, his detectives, his task force sergeants, his captains. He lets them do their job. Or she lets them do their job because that's their job. The only time that the chief interferes with stuff like that is when it comes across his or her table. And when it's time to make big decisions within that department. And that's how ownership in the NFL should be. You're the head. Your job is to basically look at the whole aspect of the team. Whenever players get signed, you sign off on it. Whenever a player acquisition comes, when they put it all together, when you have your ownership meetings and your coaches meetings, you let them do their job. Let them do their job. That is their job to do that, not yours. So you have to have enough. Again, like I said, I know that Jerry loves to be around the players, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. I like that aspect because the players respect him. The players love him. That's what it is. But you got to step out of the way and let your coaches do their job. You got to let your lower level guys do their job, do what they're supposed to do on a daily basis. That way, when it comes time to make decisions, it's not like it's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. Everybody has their role, and things run smoother. Will McClay, Vice President of Player Personnel, let him get these players in here, and then when he brings them to you, then you make your decisions on whatever you and Steven, whatever, how much you're going to pay them, whatever the case may be. I don't know what they do when it comes to that aspect, but again, you got to let your coaches be your coaches. Now, Jason Garrett has been this coach for far too long without us making it to the big game, or at least winning the NFC Championship. I mean, it's really frustrating as a player. I mean, as a fan, because we sit back and we look at all these years, these 12-4 seasons, the 13-3 seasons, the 10-6 seasons that we had, even the 9-7 season. Let's add that in there, even though we didn't make it to the playoffs. You look at those seasons, you're like, we had the potential to win. It's really crazy because it's little small things that make the big difference on this team. It's like the talent has always been there with this team. And and it's crazy because I feel like Tony Romo's career, Jason Witten's career, and I'm going to add Dez Bryant in there even though he's not retired yet. I feel like their careers with this team has been a waste because we didn't do a damn thing with it. We didn't bust a grape with them. We didn't make it to the big game. Tony Romo deserved to go to the Super Bowl. As much as Tony Romo put his heart, soul into this team, didn't make it. Jason Witten, future Hall of Famer, guaranteed, first ballot. Like, there's no way he's not going to the Hall of Fame. With the numbers that he put up, with being the fourth best tight end in the history of the NFL, come on now. Like, you have to give the man his just due. And it sucks that they're leaving without the chance at that Super Bowl title. Those of you that don't like Dez Bryant for whatever, it is what it is. Dez Bryant's gone. You know, I'm not trying to bring him back up. I'm just saying that he was one of the players on this team. He's had 73 touchdowns for this team. No other player has done that. Not even Michael Irvin. So, his time here was his time here. He did great things when he was here, and he did not so great things when he was here. But I feel like he still deserved to have a ring too. All these guys that were superstars on our team, even DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware did get a ring with the Broncos, but he had to go somewhere else to get it. And it's a shame because you just wasted all that time with these good players. You should have implemented these things a long time ago. Now, the biggest issue that I have with Jason Garrett is he's so stubborn. Because he's a Princeton graduate, he's so cerebral. He's very smart. But the problem is he's set in his way. He's conservative. You can't play in the National Football League or coach in the National Football League with a conservative mindset. You have to use that ability that you know about football. And I'm not saying, because Jason Garrett knows a lot about football, but you just have to utilize what you have, and you have to make changes. You don't make changes, other teams are doing their research on you. They're gonna find out what your strengths and weaknesses are, and they're gonna just take it and just go with it, and they're gonna kick your ass. That's it. But you have to look at it in a way of make the changes that you need to change, the necessary changes. Make those changes. Do what you got to do as a staff to get this team where it needs to be. Because it sucks how we've had so much talent on this team and have not bust a grape with it. You look at other teams that have done more with less. Look at Green Bay. Yes, they have Aaron Rodgers, but you look at all the injuries they had in the past couple of years, and they were still able to win games. They were still able to go to the playoffs. They were still able to do things. Why can't we? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's like we're shooting ourselves in the foot every year. Now, if Jason Garrett if this team don't make it to the playoffs and go to the NFC Championship, his ass need to go. I'm sorry. Jason Garrett got to go. This is make or break right now. Because I feel like I don't want them to waste Dak's talent. Because Dak has a lot of talent, y'all. And he can be a great quarterback in this league in the coming years. They have to allow him to do that. Both Jason Garrett, Linehan got to get that playbook up and running and stop doing the same crap over and over again. Get a little bit creative. Get yourself together. Figure some things out. Whenever a team tries to get you this way, you flip around and get them this way. We have done trick plays, and every time we do a trick play, it works. You want to know why? Because teams are not gunning for us ever to do a trick play. And I'm not saying just be using trickery, but use your technique, use the player's ability and their skill to be better. We just don't know what to do with talent. You let Marty B come in here and go. You let Anthony Fasano come in here and go. You let these players go before their potential, before they get a chance to do things. They go to other teams and they be great players. And then you're sitting there with the dumb look on your face like, I don't know, I guess it was, I don't know why he couldn't do anything with us. You go back to the quarterback situation. Whenever you have different quarterbacks on your team, because every quarterback is not the same. You got an in-the-pocket quarterback. You got shot quarterbacks that are just good at shotgun. You got quarterbacks that love the bootleg. You got quarterbacks that are mobile, that run around all day, every day. But with this team, it seems like when any other quarterback was on that field, when Tony Romo got hurt, they couldn't bust a grape. Brandon Whedon couldn't do nothing. Matt Castle couldn't do nothing. Why? Because you still tried to play them like it was Tony Romo. You should have had some packages and plays just for these players. Brandon Whedon was on the team 2 seasons. There's no reason why. He knew the playbook, so there was no reason why he couldn't be great. And Brandon Whedon can actually throw the ball. How the hell he go to the Texans all of a sudden take them to the goddamn playoffs? That doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. So, we got to do better. And Jason Garrett is not the answer right now. Now, the only thing that I will say about him that I do like is the fact that he gets these players together to understand his philosophy and what he wants from them. He's good at that. He's a great motivational speaker. He's in the locker room. He's got the fight. He's got the do your job. Do your job. Hey, Jason Garrett, do your job. How about that? Do your job too, because it ain't just on these players. You got to get in there and you got to do your job as well. Because if everybody's not doing their job, it's not going to work out. So that's just my opinion on that. I understand that, you know, on Sunday, Jason Garrett, you want your coaches and your staff and your coordinators, you want them to run the team and run the game. I get that. Because you're the head coach. You can do that. But you also, when stuff breaks down in that game, it is your job as the head coach to literally make the adjustments and tell these coordinators and these other coaches on the staff, hey, this ain't working. We need to do this. So at halftime, don't go in the locker room and give me this rah-rah bullshit about do your job. Make the necessary adjustments and get this team where it needs to be. Because there's no reason why we cannot be successful. None. None whatsoever. And we can't get a hard-nosed coach in here because he's not going to want to come to Dallas. That's what you guys have to understand. We're always going to have yes-men coaches unless Jerry Jones allow the coaches to do them. That's it. And they suck at giving players their potential and trying to make projects out of them. Great segue. Rico Gathers. What is the deal with Rico Gathers? You drafted this guy in the 7th round last year to be your project player. Okay. He was supposed to be a project. You knew that the guy hadn't played football since middle school. But then I hear them say, oh, well, we question his IQ and we question this and we question that. Well, of course, his football IQ is not going to be the greatest because he played basketball for Baylor, not football. He hasn't played organized ball since middle school, since damn near Pop Warner. Can't go from Pop Warner to the pros and expect him to know everything. It takes time. Then he gets the concussion. We don't know how much that concussion affected him, whether it's still affecting him, or what they plan to even do with him. Because I don't understand. We got Dalton Schultz now in the draft. You got Swain. You got Blake Jarwin. What are you going to do with Rico Gathers? Are you going to get rid of him? Are you going to give him a chance in training camp to do something? We know that he's athletic. We know that he can catch the ball, clearly. Because he plays football like he played basketball. So, he's got the body. He's smooth for a big guy. 6'7", and can move like that. That's rare for a tight end. And that's somebody you need to keep. But you wanted him for a project. If you wanted him for a project, you have to develop him to be great. And that takes time. If you don't have the patience, you should have never even drafted him in the first goddamn place. And since you and because of that, you got to use him. Because you know what's going to happen? They get rid of him. Another team's going to be like, we might can do something with him. And then they do something with him. All of a sudden, he becomes the next Gronk. Or what Aaron Hernandez was before he got locked up, before he passed away. So, and I know you're going to have egg on your face if you go to another team and they develop him and do something, what you were trying to do. So, shut up about his whatever that you're saying, because if you don't want him on the team, get rid of him. Same thing I said about Dez. If you don't want the player, get rid of him. If you're going to keep him, utilize him. You already know what he can do. You know his ability. Take his strengths and take advantage of that, because he can be a great weapon for us if they develop him in the right way. So, but that's all I got to say about that. So, I just hope that they use Rico Gathers right, because he can definitely be a decent player in this league if they use him right. But with that being said, y'all, this is another rant by your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all soon.